Well, hello folks, behind me we have the Briggs and Strattion generator, and the carb has turned up. So let's get that fitted and see if this thing will run, and if so, does it generate? Welcome to the man cave. Let the games begin. So man cavers, after the cock up where the carb kit didn't turn up, in my little box here we have got one gasket and a complete carburetor. Look at that. Now, would you believe a genuine Briggs and Strattion carb repair kit for this engine was about 24 quid. You can go on evilBay and find these Chinese knockoffs for about 15 quid for the complete carb with gasket. I thought, do you know, this can be a review of these cheap Chinese carbs. And we'll see, number one, does this thing fit right? And number two, well, is it going to run on it? I don't know. What is interesting, this one got the manual choke. The choke flap is missing out of this carb. Well, it isn't missing, it's there, but there's no lever. So that's half the reason I thought, do you know, that kit didn't turn up. Let's just get a whole carb for the sake of about 15 quid delivered. And let's just see if it'll actually start and run on this. Right, let me, we want spanner to undo this one on the bottom here. That's the wrong size spanner. There we go. So we'll just take this bolt off which holds the bottom bracket on. Right, and if you remember, last time we tried doing this, there was an air leak in there. You could see it flooding petrol out of that little gap there when I pulled it. And I did put some sealer on. So even though, that's another reason I bought the carb, because I thought that could be the carb distorted, could be the manifold. Right, so let's buzz this carb off and we'll plug our new one in. And then we'd better see if this goes. As I say, we did check all the oil on it yesterday. Apart from me letting a tiny little bit out, it was full. Right, let's compare these carbs. New one to old one. Right, here is the new, here's the old one. And here's the new one. They look pretty much identical to me, don't they, you? Apart from this one's got the choke lever. See, that's got the choke in it. But there's no lever on it. That's missing. This one's got the lever. What I have noticed, this emulsion tube in this old original carb comes right down here. In this carb, it don't. It's there, but it's up there, look. See that? That don't protrude in. Is that going to make any difference to our running? I have no clue. Right, I think we need to get this old gasket off here. Because I did put an old gasket on there with some hematite. Where is that old gasket? That's right in there, look. I want to get the old gasket off. Cool, that hematite has stuck that damn gasket on there, guys. that really has stuck that on there. I really want to get it on though. Hang on, let's whip the manifold right off if I can get to the screws. Oh yeah, I can get to that Phillips screw in there. We'll get the old gasket off and I'll clean this manifold up. I'll clean it up on a whiz wheel. That's going to be the way easiest way, and we'll just put a bit of sealer back around there. So let me clean this gasket off here. Oh, there is no gasket. Where was the gasket then? Well, they ain't stuck to the carb either. I could have sworn I put that gasket back. Right, well, we want to give this a machine to make sure it's flat before we go putting on. Time screws out before I lose them. Before we go installing this, we want to make sure this is flat. So, let me get the milling machine set up and we'll be back. Right, here's our milling machine. So we just need to mill this surface dead flat. There we go, nice bit of hillbilly engineering. Look fellas, this don't belong to Elon Musk. It's not a SpaceX that's going to launch satellites. It's a Briggs and Stratton. So we'll just give this a circular motion on this flat surface. And look at that, bright and shiny. If there's any dark spots on there, you'd know you had a low spot. But this is now been through the milling machine and is all nice and flat. So now we want to clean all the grit out. Because the last thing you want is sandpaper and crap. And grit all in that manifold. So we'll just blast all that out so that's nice and clean. And get your cleanest dirty rag. Give her a wipe out, guys. This end will even be. We'll just put some gasket sealer on that. Because I don't have a gasket for that end. Let's check this new gasket they sent us right. It is, look at that. Perfect. Ah, well, that's good. So we're going to use the old, there we go, the old blue. I do like the old blue. So we'll crank a little bit of that around this inlet. That's where it bolts up to the engine, fellas. There we go. And fellettes, I mustn't discriminate. And we'll put a little bit around this end. It will, number one, hold the gasket in place. And number two, it will make me happy knowing there's a little bit of seal around there. So we'll stick our new gasket on. There we are. And I will just put a bit on this side as well. There we are. There we go. We have gasket sealer. Right round the gasket. Perfect. Let's seat this back on the engine and see how we get on. There we go. Right. Let me try and get this screw back in. That engine surface is clean. Where this bolts on the engine, it is spotlessly clean. So we shouldn't have any air leaks through there. Right, that's that one. Let's get this one back in. She's going in. And we'll tighten them up a nip at a time. That one's tightened. That one's tightened. Right, let's get this new carb on. So here we are, guys. Have we got the right fitting? We have the right fitting in here. What this cable goes into. Now I want to make sure this throttle stop, the shutdown is actually going to work good. We want to make sure that when this engine actually runs and we want to stop it, we can pull that too and stop it. Well, this wire's loose on there, look. I need to check that when I move this up there, that this does go to continuity. We better check that. You couldn't see what I was doing there, could you? I want to make sure this throttle stop here actually kills the ignition. We'll do that before we put the carb on. Let me get my multimeter. Alright, we're back with our multimeter. Now we can check this one of two ways. We can either put it in horseshoe mode around here, or we can go on to continuity, which is where I want to be. That's no, where's continuity was right down on my old one. It's in a different place on this one. There we go. So what we want is when we move that lever, we want to make sure it has killed the spark. So we want to put one of these on the engine earth. Yeah, where can we earth him? Down here somewhere. And one on there. Right, that's off. No, that ain't earthing out, guys. That is not earthing out when that moves over. No. That's not earthing out. So what we're going to have to do, because I'm itching to see if this thing will run, we'll pull this wire off, and when we want to stop the engine, we can just touch this wire to earth, and that will kill it. Hopefully it'll kill it, because this is likely to run pretty damn quick being on a generator, so we're probably going to want to stop him. So we'll get him out of the way. Let's get this carb on, stop messing about. So let's get our throttle connected. I'd love to know how they make these carbs for 16 damn quid. Do the screws fit? Well, they even give us a new nut in the bottom. Look, hang on. They give us, I've noticed in the bottom here, they give us a new nut, look. Which is a different size to the one what come out. Bloody hell, that was in there tight. There we go. That's why it wouldn't have fit. That's why it didn't want to fit on there right. There we are. It'll be really interesting to see how these fit. Well, them screws not the same thread. Don't tell me they've give us the wrong thread. Now, yeah, have a look. These screws are a different damn thread to the originals. Let me find some that'll actually fit. So we have some. they turn out to be little M6 nuts, M6 bolts I've got. So they're not going to have Phillips screws in now, they're going to have 10mm heads on them. If we can find them. If we can find them. Ah, there we go. There we go, guys. Now we'll go in. Hey, finally we got them. There we go. And I bet I can't get a socket on these now, can I? Because I'm too close to the manifold, so we're going to have to do these up with a spanner. Let me get these buzzed up. Well. Now, you might as well stick with me while we do it. If not, you're going to say, oh, you left this bit out, you left that bit out. Right, there we go. Let's line the one up in the bottom. There we go. So far, the only modification we've had to do is, instead of using the original screws, we've had to change them for little M6 bolts. Everything else seems to be lining up and fitting. He says that he can't get the bottom nut in. I'm blaming that though, half of it on, there you go, on this damn thing being a bit bent and mangled. So I'm not going to blame the carb. In fact, this carb seems to yeah, that's quite bent and mangled, that. Alright, let's check our throttle move. Yep, that's all free on that governor. Look, you can see it all moving down there. When I move, you can see the governor arm moving in here. So our governor is all free and working, springy. Right, what we want to do is cold set this carburetor. So we want to, because they wouldn't have adjusted this, it's impossible to adjust these from factory. So we need to cold set it by turning all these screws all the way in. Well, yeah, we want to turn them screws all the way in and then take them out about 1.5. There we go. We've got some crap on there. Right, where that and on that new screw off the old screwdriver. There we are. So we'll just turn these all the way in. Alright, that's in. So we want to come out half, one, 1.5. We'll come out 2 with that one, which is the high speed, and this low speed. We'll turn him in. Right, half, 1, 1.5. They actually want to set too far out. Right, now let's put our fuel line on. That goes on there nicely. Did I turn this fuel on this thing? Now we need to put some fuel in it. There we go, we've got a little bit of fuel in. And let's see if this carb leaks, because the old one leaked like hell, didn't it? If you remember, that was a really fast drip. If this one drips, that'll be a rum job. So let's give her a little tap. That often helps just seat things in. Let's make sure we've got fuel coming through. No, we ain't got any fuel coming through here, look. Is my tap on? Nope. I don't think my tap is on. There you go. Have we got any coming through now? Oh yeah, she got fuel coming through now. So we'll give that. I might put a bit more petrol in there actually, because that's a very big tank and I didn't put too much in. What I put in there, probably only put 1 centimetre in the bottom. There you go. There should be a nice little bit of fuel in there now. Right, I think now we need to put a top on that plug, because that plug doesn't have a screw cap on it. There we go, we'll put that screw cap on there, hold that lead on, make sure that lead ain't touching on the head. Choke on, choke off. Our kill wires out the way. These 3 nuts are the ones that originally came out. So we'll keep them in my little drawer for Briggs and Stratton parts. There we go. Right, do you think we should get this outside? So I don't fancy starting it on the bench, because that's likely to shake everything everywhere. Let's get the old girl outside and see if she runs. So here we are, folks. Let's give her a pull and make sure this kill wire's not hitting on the body, which it isn't. We'll give this a pull, see if she starts. Let's put that, where's the choke on there. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Cool, you awkward little sod. Where are we dripping? We still have petrol now dripping out of this carb. What Why is petrol dripping out of this brand new carb? Shouldn't be, should it? Oh, she wanna go? Maybe I need to undo this fast jet a bit. Maybe that's screwed in a bit far. Let me unscrew, let me get a screwdriver. Right, let's just undo this one another half a turn, so we're on about 2. Are we actually getting fuel or that? Not much, are we? We ain't got much flow out of that tap. In fact, there's none. And we had all this tap to pieces. If you remember. Oh, we've got tons of fuel coming out of this glass bowl. Oh, we don't appear to be getting a lot. Oh no, there's plenty in the tank, that's quarter full. We don't appear to be getting a lot of petrol into this carb. Yeah, there's a little bit coming through, but not as much as I'd like. Let's give that a minute for that carb to fill up. Right, let's give her another go. Maybe it does need some choke. Nothing on full choke. You awkward little sod. She don't appear. Don't want to go. Because this has got tons of compression. I can guarantee it. She is certainly trying. But just not picking up. Just not picking up, guys. Half, 1, 1.5. She ain't playing ball, is it? She's trying to go. I reckon, you know, she ain't getting enough fuel delivery. I reckon that's possibly something to do with that tap. Yeah, I reckon that could well be something to do with that fuel tap. So I think we're going to have to try and work this one out. I'm pulling my guts out now. I think we have a fuel delivery problem where she ain't getting enough fuel up to that carb. Alright, I might have to get this back on the bench and have another look at it, because so far she is not playing ball, and I've knackered myself out pulling it. Don't get old, guys. I'm 50 in March and it's starting to show. Well, I think we're going to get this thing back in here on the bench and see how we can go from there. See if we can get a better fuel flow into that carb. Can I hook a dummy tank up? I don't think I've got one here to look at. I'm looking for one. No. Right, well, we'll leave the video here. You send me attempt to start it with the new carb on. So yes, is it dodgy Chinese carb? Shall we rob the parts off that to fix the old one? Are they even interchangeable? Who knows? But there you go. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. There's our little hit and miss. Look. Here's our little Honda Briggs and Stratton. So it's bye-bye from me. Bye-bye from him. So what are your thoughts on this little thing, guys? Why ain't she starting? I reckon that's that fuel flow. Bye-bye for now. Ha-ha! Briggs and Stratton.